This is the part of the artist's way that teaches you how to get extremely rich from your art. If you've been struggling to make as much money as you want from your art, it probably comes from two very silly but extremely persistent ideas that you are due to let go of entirely. Number one, you've been led to believe that hard work is good, and so you think that doing something that you enjoy can possibly pay you well as well. And two, you're failing to see the full value of your true creative expression. Parts of your art come naturally for you, and it's very easy to take that for granted and miss the fact that actually what you do is completely rare. It's unique only to you and all the people that ever have or ever will be. And so your worth is innate, and it will only continue to increase the more that you establish your style and your skills. Before I get too ahead of myself, let me make one thing abundantly clear. Getting rich from your art can mean many things. We all have our own definitions and our own goals tied to what success as a creative and as a human mean to us. The truth is, the only success that will ever mean anything to you is how you choose to define it. For me, I want my creative projects to fund and fuel my lifestyle, because that means I can spend as much time and energy as possible creating more art, creating as much art as possible. That means having the freedom to explore what I want, when I want, and with that comes a ridiculous amount of satisfaction and fulfillment through the work that I'm continually doing. I don't have a plan to retire, because the more ideas, the more projects that I work on, the more opportunities it opens for me to create even bigger, more expansive things. What I really want to get across here is your definition of success is unique to you. You don't need to convince anyone of the life that you want to live, of the goals that you want to achieve, of the role that you want creativity to play in your life. But you will find it extremely helpful to be clear and remain connected with your vision, with your interpretation of what success means to you. That means you're going to be more able to directly prioritize it. Week 6 of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way focuses on recovering a sense of abundance. Julia Cameron touches on the blocks that we can develop and hold on to as creatives. There is a line that I love. Creativity is not, and never has been, sensible. There's a certain narrative that I hate around the idea that if you make your hobby your job, then it takes all the fun out of it. That's only because when we do that, we can start to think about creativity in this really rigid and unnatural manner, and start to approach our creativity and our artistry in a way that we haven't before, and we take the juice, we take the joy out of it. Making your hobby your job, or an aspect of your job, means that you can do more of it. You can approach it in bigger ways. You can share it with more people. When we see it as a block, that's because we have this constriction kind of energy. We're condensing down the huge scope of things that we want to do and restricting what we think we should do to this tiny little thing that some people might refer to as a niche. Art is born in expansion. Nobody wants it to be sensible. So let's go back to those two key reasons you may be stuck as a struggling artist instead of a thriving artist. There will always be some aspect of hard work involved. I like to call it the hustle because that just feels more fun to me. But this is what I want to make really clear. There is no special award that you will get for making your work feel like a struggle. And in fact, when you lean into what compels you, what excites you to create in the first place, then you tap into the most powerful resource available: enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is what compels you to learn more and to improve. And that's how you develop your own voice and style, as a simple byproduct of leaning into your curiosities and obsessions. Why would you force yourself to do something you hate because you think that's what's working for other people? You already have such a specific list of qualities and interests that you are able to tap into and unleash this amazing energy reserve of enthusiasm that compels you to go deeper and to develop new things that people cannot take their eyeballs off. You have the opportunity to lean into specifically what will only work for you. And we can get this twisted, right? Because we think talent is something that people are born with innately. But when you look at somebody like Jimi Hendrix, he could play the guitar with ease because he spent the majority of his life with his guitar in his arms, practicing, developing his craft. That would be incredibly hard work for someone who doesn't like guitar or is not interested in guitar. But for Hendrix, it was his favorite thing to do. And so developing insane abilities and insane skills is something that can come with a lot more ease, regardless of if you look at the hours that he may have put into it. It's something he wanted to do. It's how he wanted to spend his life. And so this is how I want you to think about it. Leaning into what feels interesting and exciting to you is how you become so brilliant that you can name your price. The second thing that is keeping you stuck in lack is failing to see your value as a creative. If you want anyone to buy the things that you create, you have to deeply understand the worth and value of them first. If you're trying to sell something that you don't rate, it is a very tough job. But selling something you are overjoyed with, total breeze. So how do you do it? How do you become clear around the value of your work? My advice is to start sharing it, start showing your art, start speaking about what you do. Even if you don't feel completely confident at first, maybe even especially then, that is an invitation for you to start showing up, to start paying attention to what you're creating, what you want to be creating, and allow it to take a bigger role in your life. The more that you tell people about the things that you create and the things that you are interested in, you will get to see other people's reactions to those things, which can help validate what you're creating. But mostly, you're going to be gradually revealing the areas that you feel most stuck, the areas that feel a little bit sticky icky to you. And these are your opportunities to address blocks, to build new supportive beliefs that have you taking action in the direction you really want to go, and to start telling yourself stories that support you and your dreams and your visions of what you actually want to be doing with yourself, instead of letting the blocks run the show, instead of letting the things that feel too big and too scary be the things that control, honestly, how you're spending your life. There comes a point when you have to stop letting the bullshit be the thing that holds you back, and you decide that you're gonna start writing new stories, that you're gonna start building the confidence through competence of showing up and becoming better and better at the things that you are deeply interested in. If you want to dive deeper into reprogramming your beliefs around abundance as a creative, you can sign up for my course, Thriving Artist, that guides you through thinking expansively, and also how you can transform your ideas and the art that you make into products that people actually want to buy. You can find the link in the description for all the details. There's a part in the chapter that says, creative living requires the luxury of time and space. As an artist, it is crucial that you indulge in yourself and in your obsessions. It doesn't have to be sensible. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And what you'll find when you look to anybody who has created really remarkable things and achieved their own creative success, they are people who thrived in their chosen extremes. They figured out what they liked, they figured out what they were obsessed with, and they dived really, really deep into it. Having the courage to commit to creating what it is that you want to create and sharing it with the world in ways that feel really fun to you is the foundation to living a creative and abundant life. I hope this has inspired you to become a fabulous weirdo. I would love for you to leave a comment with your own personal definition of what creative success means to you. Make sure you are subscribed. Next week we are talking about connecting with your creative dreams. I'll see you there. Bye.